Now, we are going to be looking at our product roadmap for part of our presentation today. So in order to properly set our expectations there, we need to review Salesforce's forward-looking statement slide. Now, for anybody who's unfamiliar, this slide urges Salesforce customers to make any purchasing decisions based only on currently available functionality at the time of purchase.
My name is Michael Chow, Senior Director of Product Management with Service Cloud. I've been with Service Cloud for close to 3 years now, and I focused on products related to community, self-service, mobile customer service. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a background, at the start of every year, we spend some time trying to figure out what are the major themes that we're trying to tackle for this year. So from here all the way until the end of the year with some major announcements at Dreamforce. And as we were looking at toward the roadmap and all of our customer feedback for this year, we actually really decided that we were going to put Service Cloud, our resources on really 3 major themes. And what this includes is, number 1, the Service Console, number 2, the embedded service projects, and also work orders. Now, for a Service Console, this is what many of you use Service Cloud for, right? So you use us for your call centers, for your agents to have a very optimized UI to handle cases coming in. So what this is going to include is omni-channel routing presence, the console UX, intelligent service apps, service analytics as well, and also high availability and business continuity. So we have many teams working on those. I think traditionally in the past, Gautam or Clement has been here to present, but I'm here presenting on their behalf today. And the second piece of it is embedded service. So what this means for us is that we know a lot of our customers, you guys have your own websites and your mobile applications. And what we want to do is help you guys embed customer service into those websites and applications. So this includes a mobile SDK, so being able to embed knowledge and chat and SOS and cases into those mobile apps. Doing the same on your own websites. Lightning is a very big part of this. That's why Deborah's here to talk about the really exciting things that we have coming up in Lightning for this release, for knowledge, sorry.
Not this release.
And social customer service and also service communities. You guys have probably tuned into the community section. There's a couple of things I wanted to show you guys that are very service specific within those templates, the community templates. So we'll be going into a little bit about that. And then the last thing is work orders. We're actually tackling a lot of the objects and the data model behind work orders. Karthik is going to be here to talk about that today. This is his first week here at Salesforce. That's how we do things here. So excited to have him on board to actually talk to you guys about work orders and all the things we're doing there. But this is going to include mobile applications that we're building, complex assets, service contracts, and also potentially a wave app in the future. But these are all things that we have planned for this year. So really pleased to be able to come and show you everything that we're working on. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump forward to talk about the Service Cloud console. This release, the Spring 16 release, is actually a fairly small release for us compared to what we've had in the past. And the reason for that is we're actually doing a lot of major plumbing and a lot of trust work that's absolutely important for us as we move forward and keep on building on top of the console. Some of the features that we're releasing are seemingly a little bit smaller on the smaller side, but they're actually very important and very highly requested features from our community. So the very first feature that we have here is preview hovers. And I'm going to go ahead and demo this for you guys. But this includes the ability to actually really preview the contents of a case without actually drilling into the case specifically. And this is a really huge productivity boost, especially if your agents have multiple tabs open. And speaking of having multiple tabs open, one thing that we heard consistently from our customers was that a lot of times your agents, they might have 10 tabs open, maybe even 50 sometimes. It can get to be a lot. And that actually degrades performance for the UI and for your agents. And that's not something they necessarily know about, right? So what we've actually provided here is we have a new feature called tab limits. And this allows admins to define how many tabs would actually can be opened by an agent within the Service Console. And these limits are really meant to enforce best performance, not necessarily how much work your agents can do. You would want to use something else for that. So let me go ahead and jump over to our demo real quick. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set this up. So here on my screen, you see the setup screen. And then we're going to go into settings for apps. So down here, here's an app. that I've set up. I've called this tab limits. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is the settings for a specific console that you have in mind, right? And when I go to the very bottom of the screen, what you see is there's actually 2 additional checkboxes on the screen now. There's enable tab hovers. So this displays the summary information about a record when the user mouses over the tab. So I'm going to go ahead and enable this, and also enable tab limits. And what this allows you to do is allows you to specify the maximum number of open primary tabs and also the number of sub-tabs that you would allow your users to actually do. So I've set this to 5 and 5, and I'll go ahead and demo this in a second. So with that, I'm going to save this. And I'm going to go to the console here that I've set up. And what you see here is that this is our Service Cloud console, obviously, and with a bunch of cases, a queue of cases. And what you see here is I actually have several cases already open here. I have this case 7048 and 7100. And as I mouse over these cases, the first thing I'll notice is you'll see this popover where this actually shows you information about the case, right? So instead of forcing your agents to actually click into the case to see if that's the case that they're specifically looking for, they can quickly scan over it, look at the information about the case. And this is driven by the mini page layout. So this metadata is completely configured by you on what fields you would want to show, and even related lists as well. So now that I'm able to see these cases, so I have 5 tabs open here. And take, for example, your agent wants to open a 5th tab. When they try to open the 5th tab, what happens is a warning pops up that tells them, hey, look, to improve performance, your administrator has limited you to the number of 5 tabs and 5 subtabs. So they know that they have to close one of these tabs before they can actually open another tab. So once I do come here to open another tab, you'll see I'll open without any issues. And then not only does this can be used for the primary tabs up top, but for example, if your agent starts opening knowledge base articles, right? So I've opened one article here, I go back to the case again, I open another knowledge article here. You'll see these sub-tabs get opened within the console. These can be limited as well so that you can ensure your agents don't have too many sub-tabs open. So both of these features, definitely a really huge productivity features that our customers have been asking for. This kind of goes along the philosophy of really helping our customers guide their users to have the best and optimal experience. So yeah, so these are the new features that's going to be live in spring 16. So that's for the console. What I'd like to do now is to talk about the community templates. And I think in a previous session with the communities team, they've already talked about the templates, about the builder, community management. And I think I wanted to highlight 2 things that they probably didn't highlight in their section. 2 of the features that we've enabled that are more service focused that I think you guys will definitely find useful is the ability to put a live agent lightning component within the template itself. And I'll show you what this looks like and how you would be able to do that. But you'll be able to embed a live agent into any community builder page. This will be available as an App Exchange package. That's not available now. It should be available sometime in February. So it's going into security review right now. The second feature that I wanted to show was Lookup Field support within the case publisher. As most of you know, the case publisher within the community builder, it supports many different type of fields and supports pick lists, but Lookup Fields is something that we haven't supported in the past, and many of you have been asking for support for Lookup Fields. And I'm pleased to tell you that we've actually started supporting that with the spring 2016 release. This is a community that we set up using the community builder. This is the Napili template, if you guys have seen that. What it has in here is it has many Lightning components here. And what's new is this chat button that I have here, right? So right now what you see there, it says chat unavailable. And actually, before I go to that, let me actually hop over to the contact support. This will probably be a little bit easier to see. So when I go to the contact support page, what you see is you see the ability for a user to create a case, subject and descriptions. But what's new this time around in the Spring 16 release is that we've enabled lookup fields. So this is just a global action that you define within your org. And before, we've told people, do not put a lookup field in your global action, otherwise this UI will not work properly. But now you can. So now you can actually put a lookup field into the layout of the global action. And if you take, for example, if I want to just look for an asset, for example, a cable, for example, here it will actually look inside the org and search for assets, anything in the asset object that's called a cable, and go ahead and you can select that. And when you create the case, you can select any type of assets. And this isn't just for assets, this is obviously for any object within Salesforce that your user has access to. They're able to select a cable and go ahead and create a subject and description. And as always, we've shown this many times in the past, but when you actually start typing in a subject and a description, we actually, on the right side here, we actually show you knowledge-based articles that actually might deflect you from creating your case. Really gotten a lot of great feedback from a lot of you on this feature. You guys love it because it actually deflects the number of cases that are created within your org. And Deborah loves this because it shows knowledge articles.
You love that one.
So that's brand new in spring 2016. Now, hopping back to this, you notice that I had a chat button available here. And right now the chat says that the chat's unavailable. It's because there's no agents online. So what I want to show you is I'm going to come here to console. This is a different console than what I showed you before. And in my omni-channel status here, I'm going to set myself to being online. So now I'm an agent available to take incoming chats. And the next time a user actually comes to this page, what you're going to realize, what they're going to see is they're going to see that there's the button now says chat now. So this button is pre-configured to actually determine whether an agent is available to talk to the customer or not. From here, they can click Connect Chat Now, and then you'll see on the agent side, I'm going to go ahead and accept this chat. This chat pops up, and here's the chat itself. And you'll see on the customer side here, they can actually write a message to. I have an issue with my cable, help. When they can go ahead and submit this, and the agent would see it on their side. So this chat button, you were always able to do this, but what we've done here is we've actually made it a lot easier for you to just actually embed this into your Lightning template. Now, what I wanted to show you is how you actually set this up real quick. I'm going to go to the Community Builder here. And when I'm in the Community Builder, obviously we see the layout of the page that we were looking at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come onto the page editor here, and this component here you see here is the live agent chat button. So what they did was they actually took it from the left-hand side. You'll see. Let me search this real quick. So the live agent chat button, what they did was they took this and they dragged it onto the page. And in this case, I dragged it to the right column. And clicking on this allows your admin to actually configure this live agent chat button. So very easy declarative configuration. All you need to do is give us your org ID, the deployment URL, your live agent endpoint, and you can actually set the text here to chat now or chat unavailable. And this is all out of the box before you actually had to do custom coding. But this is going to be live in the App Exchange in February. So definitely wait for this. This will make setting up live agent chat in your community templates a lot easier than it has been in the past.
That's fantastic, Michael.
Yeah, I think we've gotten a lot of feedback for this. Everybody's been really excited to see this. You guys use live agent. We haven't given you guys a lot of tools to easily put that in. So this is something that's going to make things really a lot easier for you going forward. So the last thing I wanted to talk about today is the Android SDK for SOS. So many of you know SOS has been live on iOS. And just for those of you that you may be new to Salesforce, may be new to Service Cloud, what SOS is it allows your end users that use your mobile applications, whether it's an iOS app or an Android app, to actually have a video chat with an agent. Right, so sometimes cases or knowledge-based articles or live agent chat, that's not immediate enough, that's not fast enough. Your end users want to talk to an agent face-to-face. And what we've done here is we've actually enabled video chat within Android applications. So this has been available for iOS, now it's available for Android. So not only is this video chat, but it allows a customer to share their screen with an agent, and also the agent can actually write on the screen, draw on the screen to show the customer what they should be doing, what they should be touching on the screen. Now, with this, there's a couple things that I wanted to note that would be important for many of you, and many of you have been asking for this feature. The first thing is field masking. Now, what field masking is it designates part of the application that you don't want your agents to see. So this could be information that, such as social security numbers or credit card numbers, stuff that's PII, that's to make your app HIPAA compliant. Many people in healthcare or financial services, you guys have this requirement that your agents can't really see everything on a person's screen, right? So we're actually able to mask the text field. So when the agent sees it on the agent console, they can't see what's going on. When the customer is typing, what we do is we actually completely blank out the screen on the agent side, so they can't see anything that's being typed. And the last thing that was important for us to get live before this with SOS, SOS went GA, was what we call agent availability. So we wanted to make it possible for you guys not to show the SOS button when there's no agents on the other end to actually pick up the phone per se, right? So when there's no agents online, the SOS button will be hidden. When the agents are online and they have capacity to accept an SOS session, we show the SOS button working. And lastly, when the agents are online but they don't have capacity to accept the session, we also hide the button there. So let me show you what this looks like for my mobile device. That'll probably be easier for you guys to visualize what this product is. So what I wanted to show you here was, this is a mobile application on the right side. So this is an Android app, okay? And in this case, I've set up SOS on the top right. I'm going to go ahead and click on this just to say that I want to start an SOS session. The end user wants to talk to an agent, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And on the left side on the agent screen, you'll see the incoming SOS session. From here, the agent, what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept I'm going to go ahead and accept the SOS session. And what you're going to see is on the agent side, on the agent console, you see exactly what you see on the customer screen, right? So on the customer screen side here, you see this Northern Trail Outfitter site, but on the agent side, you see the exact same screen. And what you can do is you can actually, when you draw on the screen, it will actually show up on the customer's mobile device as well. As an agent, what you can do is you can actually drag your video image to another part of the screen if you actually want to tell them to actually engage with another part of the screen here. And the customer on their side, they can actually drag this themselves too. So this is actually fairly easy to do. We get this question all the time, but you don't have to have video conferencing, especially if you don't want your customers seeing your agents, but you can actually have a one-to-one dialogue via voice. And then from here, what the end user can do is they can actually, when they click on the button, they can actually, they have controls to actually stop the video, to actually stop the mic, and also to actually close the session with the agent. So from the end customer standpoint, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect from the session, and the session is ended on both sides. So really powerful, especially if you want to enable this sort of functionality inside your Android mobile applications. It's been live on iOS. We have many pilot customers that are using this today. But what we've wanted to do is really bring this really high-touch experience for your customers, for your agents to be able to interact with their end users. So with that, that's the demo. I wanted to show you guys just real briefly also, we now have a pilot program for the rest of the Service Cloud functionality. And not only is this SOS, which is GA right now, but on iOS, we also have knowledge base, we have case management, and we also have live agent chat available for iOS. The last three, they're in pilot right now. But if you have a native mobile application that you want to embed Service Cloud functionality into, if you want to do self-service, if you want your users to be able to create a case or talk to an agent using live agent chat, this isn't through web views and and web pages, this is actually fully native code that would actually be inside your native application. We have a pilot program available today. Contact your AE and have them sign you up for the Service for Apps pilot. We're taking pilot customers right now. We're hopefully going GA with this later this year, but for those of you that want an early preview, please reach out to us. And this is something that we've been hearing from customers for a very long time, so very excited to bring this out.
Yeah, thanks. I think one thing that I'd like to thank you for is spelling out which of these features are going to be available in pilot and when they're going to be GA or generally available for all of our customer base. Okay. But speaking of our customer base, I know that you just showed some really interesting things, and we're going to have a lot of questions from our customers on that. So I'd like to turn things over to Sam Acuff to find out what are the customers saying, Sam?
Oh, well, we're getting a lot of shout outs for these features. It's awesome. Field masking, love that. It's interesting. You actually answered a question that came up before the session even started about how to get Live Agent into their community. So
okay, great.
That's exciting. If you didn't catch that, that is going to be on the App Exchange in February, yes? And it's going through a security review right now.
Yeah, we're basically done with it. But obviously trust is our number one value here. We wanted to make sure that there's no everything that we put on App Exchange goes through a security review.
So I will make sure that when that goes out on the App Exchange, I'll post it in the release readiness community so people know about it. So let's talk about some questions. Looking for a way to, that was Jason's questions. You mentioned something and I missed it, and something about switch statements. Does anybody recall that when you were doing your intros? Okay, I'm going to have to go listen to the recording then for that, because they're asking about that and I don't remember.
What product is it in reference to?
It was very early on Twitter when you guys were first starting, so it wasn't in your demo.
Okay.
Enable Service Cloud tab limits in Spring 16. Enable agent productivity. How many, though, to limit? So Nigel is asking, do you have a best practice around that? What would you suggest?
Yeah, I think that really depends. I think that as I mentioned, that the tab limits are not necessarily a way for you to kind of limit your agents from doing how much they can multitask. For us, it's about performance of the UI. Mm-hmm. So I think that there's a couple of factors here. I think that you want to take into consideration how large of a screen are they actually using. Obviously, if your agents are on smaller screens, you probably want to limit to a smaller set of tabs. It also has to do with probably network, how fast your network is. And so I think there's a couple of things. I think what you want to do is you probably want to play around with the tab limits, see what fits in terms of the real estate that your agents have, and also try to understand, given your network performance, and also your computing power, if you get up to like 20 tabs, does that start slowing down the UI a little bit too much? It's something that you will want to play with, and that's one of the reasons why we made it complete configurable.
All righty. So it sounds like a best practice then would be to do a ride along. Set some settings, set that limits, sit with a service agent, and do some performance observations would probably be the best thing for an organization.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. So Kevin, that was for you. Let me see. We have some questions about Live Agent and licensing around Live Agent, because you've obviously sparked some major interest. Can you talk to me a little bit about the licensing for Live Agent? What license do they have to have for it to be included, and can they buy it as a feature license?
Absolutely. So Live Agent, while that Lightning component that I showed you for Live Agent will be available for everybody on the App Exchange, and for those of you who have communities, you guys have access to the Community Builder in our templates, and you can put it onto the page. You obviously need an agent to be able to field those incoming Live Agent requests. And that will be done via an agent who has a Live Agent license. Live Agent is actually an add-on license on top of a Service Cloud license. So for this function to be useful, you're going to need a Live Agent license on top.
Okay, alrighty. And I posted in Twitter the link to our additions and pricing for anybody who wants to take a look at that. That's there.
Great.
Jennifer is asking about, does SOS let the agent see the customer?
You can. Yeah, you absolutely can. I didn't show it here, but you can actually not only have the camera of the customer, the camera focused on the customer, actually communicate that to the agent, but you can also use the back-facing camera as well, and that's the camera that For example, if you want to see what the customer is seeing, right? Their phone is pointed towards a TV or a radio. You can actually set it up that way. But there's several configuration options when it comes to SOS. But you can definitely do that.